You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Perlini! Overtime! IceDogs win! They score! Verhage was also jamming away. It's a power play goal for the IceDogs. And they score! Hosang, first goal as an IceDog. Strong stop, Shipley. Richie scores! Gets it to Akil Thomas. Thomas has the angle coming in. He scores!
Welcome into another Niagara IceDogs playoff game recap right here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all four of their great Niagara region locations. Thank you those that are watching live on our Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube channel, and those listening the next day on your favorite on-demand audio platform. Make sure to give us a follow on X at Dog Pound Podcast. Stay updated with all of our IceDogs coverage, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network for all of our great short reels. Brandon Caputo and Cam Halbert are with you to break down a crushing, just heartbreaking 6-3 loss by the Niagara IceDogs on home ice in Game 4 of their playoff series against the Barrie Colts. We're going to hear from IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau later on the Wild Bills auto repair postgame. In front of 4,078 here at the Meridian Centre for Game 4, only the second playoff game for the IceDogs home playoff game since April of 2019. Cam, this one was a tough one. We're going to get into all the game stats and everything like that, but just really tough when you look at it from start to finish, because through two periods, the IceDogs were right with the Colts again, and all four of these games, the IceDogs, could have come away with wins.
Yeah, it really comes down to just simple moments, and in this game, they had multiple leads, and there was just some chances that weren't finished, and it led to some offense the other way for the Colts. An unfortunate ending for the Niagara IceDogs, and potentially their last home game of the season. However, the score doesn't indicate how the game was. Essentially, the IceDogs were about to skate into the second intermission with a 3-2 lead, but a late goal there to tie things up, really even things back. And then an issue that we have seen far too often this year, we'll get into the goal summary, but that third period, Barrie was just able to finally break through and held on for the win.
Yeah, we're going to get into all of that here. And again, the Barrie Colts now lead this best-of-7 series 3-1, with Game 5 going Saturday night in Barrie. Programming alert, if the IceDogs are to win in Barrie on Saturday night, we'll be right back here at the Meridian Centre on Sunday night for Game 6, which would be the IceDogs' final home game of that series, and would need to obviously win the next three, including 2 on the road in Barrie. And that's always tough. When you go down 3-1, instead of 2-2 here, Cam, it's just a really tough hill to really overcome here when you got to win 2 games on the road against a higher seed.
Yeah, we talked about that in the last recap, that when you're the underdog, you have to take advantage of the close games, and honestly, in games 1 and 2, they were just as close. This series, judging by the 3-1 lead for Barrie, does not reflect how the games have gone. The IceDogs have really brought it to them in every single one of their games, including the win. Frustrating, obviously, for some of the players, and honestly, Game 2 really stands out given all of the stuff that went on and what that ended up leading to. But I will say that there was moments in this game where I think next year they will be able to lean on this experience, and why it was so important for the IceDogs to just get into the playoffs and get some playoff games with this core, because again, they are very young, and I think next year they are going to go in with a lot more experience, and a lot of the mental mistakes that have happened over the last 2 games, really, well, in the whole series essentially, probably won't happen nearly as often.
Definitely a lot of learning lessons to take from this series, however long it goes. We'll get things started with our prep list, brought to you by Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano. You tried the rest, now why not try the best? Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano, proudly serving the Niagara community since 2013. Carmine'sPizzeria.ca for the best quality pizza wing combos anywhere in Niagara. Cam, break down the lineup for us with the IceDogs obviously down Ivan Gallianov.
Yeah, well, everything stayed the same outside of Gallianov missing. You had Charlie Hotless come in and play a very, very minimal role. The fourth line essentially saw maybe 4 or 5 shifts the entire game, but they remained. They kept the line of Kevin He, Asadorian, and actually it was Mike Levin up on that first line. The second line was Robrick with Loshko and Paris, and then Brady Waslin with Zada and Doherty. So a little bit of a mix and match on the lines here without Gallianov, who does remain out. On defense, we had Brody and Van Vliet again. We had Chanowski and Virgilio, Chanowski, thankfully, he was able to come back after leaving the game momentarily. And then finally, we had Blair Scott with Darcy DeWatcher. Again, Darcy DeWatcher rarely saw the ice in this one, so it was really a 5-man D-core with essentially 3 lines of offense. And like I mentioned, for 2 periods, they really brought it to Barrie. They just weren't able to hang on. And that's really the difference of a team that's ready to go and contend for at least the Eastern Conference in an OHL championship in Barrie, and the IceDogs just entering their window, just not nearly as deep.
It's a shame because Ivan Gallianov has played his best hockey in the last month or so of the season, and he would really give them some depth on that fourth line where they could, continuously roll them both there. And even Gallianov on the penalty kill is really good as well. But a guy that probably had a first half that he would want more of himself as well as everybody else. He's really been a warrior for them, and unfortunately had to miss the game. Still dealing with some symptoms that he felt in that game against the Barrie Colts, where he was rocked by Kayshawn Aitchison in Game 2, and those sorts of things can, pop back up, and hopefully he was in good spirits tonight. He thinks he's going to be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, that'll be huge to get him back, obviously. I think that one of the biggest losses in this series was the loss of Andrew Wysick as well. I think with him, that really changes the dynamic. Again, DeWatcher has played admirably in the small amount of ice time that he's gotten. I have to give him credit for that, again, going up against a really tough team. But when you're able to confidently roll 3 lines, it just puts you in a much better position. So, like I said, the last 2 games, specifically here at the Meridian Centre, have been really fun to watch. It's made it's been nice to be proud of the team again after some of the off-ice things, and unfortunate turn of events here in Game 4, which was very winnable.
We'll get going further with our game stats tonight, brought to you by Gales Gas, your go-to gas station in the Niagara region. They're not just a gas station, they're a local tradition, because when it comes to fuel, you're going to Gales with multiple locations across Niagara. Shots on net tonight, Owen Flores was spectacular once again. Barrie leads in that department 46-31. 21 shots in the second period. Cam, again, the IceDogs seem that the second period has given them the most trouble this year after teams kind of know how they play in the first period, and the Colts really brought it to them, outshooting them 21-11 in that period, 46-31 overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, this game isn't even close to Flores. This is one of his best performances, and really, they had 2 goals called off because they were just getting right into the crease of Flores on every opportunity that you can. And even in a legal format, when Aitchison drove the net and drilled him going through the crease, which ended up leading to a power play. But nonetheless, he is, his career in the OHL as an overager is this will be the final kick at the can for him. He's going out giving everything he's got, and it was a blast to watch him tonight because, my goodness, the OHL is going to have some clips to tweet out.
Yeah, for sure. And again, this D-core has been tested, especially the second half of the year, Cam. But one thing I will say about the D-core is that they are their most experienced when it comes to the playoffs. Van Vliet's played in the playoffs. Virgilio's played playoff games. Chanowski a little bit. Browdy's played some playoff games too. So, the D-core has obviously bent but not broken in this series, and I think that's big for the IceDogs to be able to say that they have a chance in this series, because we saw in the second half of the year that, the team defense as well with the forwards, I don't want to blame it just completely on the D-core, but, they need to really lock it down to have a chance in the series, and they have done it for stretches, just not full 60 minutes.
Well, the last 2 games, they've played quite well. Again, they haven't really given up any breakaways or 2-on-1s. It's been pretty clean defensively. and there hasn't really been those tough passes right up the middle to cause some high danger scoring chances. But I will say that every time the IceDogs have been assumed losers in the next game, they've always had their best performance. So I have a feeling that Game 5, they will give them everything that they've got, and if it's enough to force a Game 6, that'd be great, but I know that they're going to give everything they've got in that one, and the last one's always hardest to win, so hopefully we can get one more game at the Meridian Centre at least, and hopefully they can get it done.
Yeah, they're going to have to empty the tank, because if they don't, there's not another game to talk about. The power plays 2 for 3 for Barrie tonight, so they really took advantage. Again, I don't want to blame officiating here, but just, some frustrating moments for the IceDogs and the players. Obviously weren't pleased with some of the calls, but you got to deal with it. Barrie 2 for 3 on the power play. Niagara, which came in with the best power play in the playoffs, Cam. They were running at 50% through the 3 games, which was best in the Ontario Hockey League playoffs so far. 1 for 4 tonight for the IceDogs. They had their opportunities, but you feel like 1 for 4, even though you get the 1, you had some missed opportunity.
I mean, honestly, I thought that they did fine on the power play. I think it was the penalties that they took that really did them in. They have to kill a penalty. So the goal at the end of the third period, the second period, that tied things up and really, unfortunately, just kind of made everything. Again, you go into the second intermission up a goal. That's just massive. But with 20 seconds remaining in the second period, giving up a power play goal then. And there has been, even in the win that they had, there was the Blake Aerosmith penalty that we talked about in the last game recap where he scored a goal and literally got a penalty when he was celebrating. Those are the mistakes that I was talking about that they more than likely won't have them next year because this is all a learning experience for them. They're going to realize that, hey, you got to settle down because it's 60 minutes and it's a long series. And tonight featured some of that too. So, I mean, I think that the power play, if the power play can give them a goal every game, that's what you're looking for. That's 25% on the power play. That's big. The main issue is that they can't kill a penalty. And that would have just gone a long way, and it's unfortunate. But again, like I said, I hope they'll learn from it going forward.
A lot of face-offs tonight, Kim. You noticed that Owen Flores was stopping a lot of pucks. I think he was confident in the way that his centermen were playing. 42-36 in favor of Barrie. Niagara's best man on the dot, Loshko. 16 of 26, Asadorian, a tough night, only 11 of 32 that he took. Zada was 5 of 12, and Doherty was 2 of 4 coming in as a winger. So what did you see, anything from the faceoff dot? I know Asadorian won that one key one that led to the first goal of the game, but anything that caught your eye there? Well,
they're going up against great centermen. It's those nights are going to happen, and unfortunately, Asadorian was playing on the top line, so he took a ton of faceoffs. I don't really know what you can say about it. He's usually a pretty good face-off man. They might have a read on him. I'm not sure. But it is what it is. Hopefully next game that he gets it right again.
Yeah, he's playing with a fishbowl right now after that puck he took off the face and a Warrior performance in Game 3. We'll go further with our scoring summary tonight, brought to you by the Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work in Niagara since 1983. Check out their up-to-date job board at ehc.on.ca to find your next work opportunity today. Our first goal came at the 11:20 mark of the first period. The IceDogs got on the power play, and a great, as I was mentioning, face-off win by Alex Asadorian, right back to Jack Brody, who gets it right over to Andre Loshko on the right circle and fires a one-time goal for the Seattle Kraken prospect.
Hugh Humphreys. IceDogs then are 5 for 10 in the series on the power play. 50% across, Loshko scores! The power play continues to be magic for the IceDogs, and Loshko makes it 1-0.
That was a huge goal, and again, just a massive start to the game. You get a power play early, and Loshko has been doing that all season. I'm going to miss that next year. That one-timer right from the face-off dot, it has just been absolutely nails, and there was really no chance for Hildebrandt to make that save. We should mention that it was Hildebrandt back in net. Ben Orebic did not start this game, so it looks like, again, obviously losing that one, it kind of made sense. But nonetheless, Hildebrandt, wasn't able to stop that one.
And no Brad Gardner, the Dallas Stars prospect for Barrie, one of their 9, I believe, NHL prospects. He's still day-to-day from a knee-on-knee that he took earlier in the series, so that's a big loss for Barrie.
No, absolutely. the difference is, again, a team that's all in for a championship or a playoff run. They have the guys to come in. And I will say that their fourth line really struggled tonight. And, that's something that's the IceDogs can take advantage of. There was a period there was a play in the second period where their fourth line got hemmed in, and Robrick just ate them alive. Like, there was 3 or 4 opportunities for them to get the puck out, and Robrick nipped it from him every single time, and it ended up being just an icing call, and then they were able to finally get out of the zone. But there are, cracks. It's not a perfect team in Barrie. It's not like they're going up against London, anything like that, and they have shown in all these games that they can keep it close.
IceDogs had a 1-0 lead after the first period,
yep.
And then, this was a tough one to take because it's just a weird bounce. Carter Lowe kind of picking up the bouncing puck off his skate and is able to kind of pot it through Flores because the puck was just bouncing around, and an unlucky break for Niagara there and gets the Barrie Colts on the board for the first time.
Good teams find ways to win, and this was just an ugly one, just bounced right there. It was much like in Game 3, the one where they bounce it off the back of them from behind the goal line. It just is what it is, and you've got there isn't really much else you can do. That's just hockey, essentially. They were getting pucks through. It hit like 3 or 4 bodies and ends up in the back of the net. But again, like we've seen all series and all season, the IceDogs didn't go away.
Yeah, that was again just one of those ways. That's hockey, right? Like a bounce here or there. Then we actually had a goal called off for Barrie. The Colts challenged this, and Marty Williamson really wasn't happy with the result there. He was wondered that his player got shoved into Owen Flores, but regardless, it was a big moment because Barrie lost the challenge, so they lost their timeout if that would have been a big deal later in the game.
100%. And again, there was 2 goals, I believe, called off in this one.
Yeah, that was the second one.
By Barrie, and that was a big moment in the game. I honestly thought that that one would have went in. It looked like Van Vliet may have shoved them a little bit going into him, but that's just it goes that way sometimes.
Couple minutes later in the second period, and it's Matthew Virgilio taking the shot, and Matthew Paris on the rebound is able to pot this one in.
Robrick, that pass goes astray, picked up by Tiller. Right back inside the IceDog zone. Robrick, beautiful stick handling. He's inside the zone, 3-on-2. Paris takes the pass, gets it back to Virgilio. A lot of traffic out front. Shot turned aside, big rebound, score!
That was a great play set up in that one. Virgilio over to Paris, and on his off wing was able to go opposite side. Just a great shot from him. And again, another huge answer back goal.
And then the Colts would get a power play. This was one of the ones that was frustrating for the IceDogs, where they take a penalty, and it directly leads to a Barrie Colts goal to tie the game. And it's Owen Van Steensel taking the pass from Tristan Bertucci. Just kind of walked down, really didn't have any pressure there. Was able to walk right in on Owen Flores and just kind of shovel it in the blue paint.
Yeah, and that the real issue was the power play that led to the penalty that led to it, right? So they get that goal to go up 2-1. Right, and then immediately Zada takes that cross-checking call, and on that sequence, this is what I was referring to. This was the big moment. Zada is going to be one of the most important players on the team, and I watched one of the most fun battles in this series, and even throughout the regular season, has been Eliasson and Zada. They do not like each other, and whenever they're on the ice against each other, they just follow each other around. So I watched Eliasson throw 3 or 4 cross-checks that in most cases are probably not called. There was one that probably should have been a penalty on that shift. The shift finally ends as Hildebrandt stops the puck. And again, this is moments after they go up 2-1, and Zada cross-checks him up high. And immediately Eliasson doesn't engage and just skates away, and Zada gets taken for the 2 minutes. So that he did his job exactly. That's a moment in the game that Zada can't let that frustration boil over. And he took the 2 minutes, and then immediately they score on a power play 2 minutes after. And that's a big turning point in the game because they just finally got in the lead yet again and then shoot themselves in the foot. So, again, I think that next year, this game specifically had a lot of moments that I think they will draw upon next year.
Yeah, and you mentioned Eliasson. Like, we've seen a couple of great rivalries and battles in the series. Eliasson and Zada's at the top for me. You've also got Gallianov and Kayshawn Aitchison and Grayson Tiller and Callum Shanowski. Those are kind of been like the three big rivalries that have really been going on throughout the first 4 games of the series, and especially Eliasson and Zada, man. I love that Zada is not backing down to a bigger player in Gabe Eliasson, and he's not liked very much in these parts. Big number 78, the Swedish Ottawa Senators draft pick.
No, 100%. And, I got to be honest, I think that he's going to have a tough go in the future rounds if they were to move on. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, Zada, again, I thought he's played well. He hasn't really had, the huge moments either. There's been a couple, him and Wasslin specifically, offensively, haven't really come alive yet, and they haven't had their big moments. Again, you can't really complain about the other top dogs because they've really carried the load and they've needed to. But that was specifically, and then again, right before the second period ends, again they get up another goal to make it 3-2, and Doherty takes a rough penalty as well, and then immediately they score 20 seconds left in the period. Those are the things that just cannot happen. They've got to stay composed, and in the regular season, that probably you go away, you get away from that. But if you watch any hockey, there's a reason why guys like Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand are so good at what they do, because they just goat you into stuff. And Barrie was a master class by Barrie. Not just this game, but last game too. Same kind of situation. As the series goes along, there's already been those battles and scrubs. That stuff happens in the first few games of a series to set the tone. After that, the refs are going to start just taking one, and that's what's happened. And, again, I'm going to highlight that Zada one and the one on Blake Aerosmith next year. That's the stuff that just cannot happen.
And it's magnified given the circumstance, right?
100%, yeah. Again, this season, and why it was so important for the IceDogs to get game experience was for situations like this. I think that they are going to learn. They are going to learn how to end a game. In Game 3, I thought they did a phenomenal job of holding on to the lead and playing well in the third period with the lead. In Game 4, they just can't start a period on time. I don't know if they're tight or if they're nervous, because as the period goes along, they always get better, but it's like that first 2-3 minutes that always kills them.
We'll jump back a little bit. Alex Asadorian, who's been the IceDogs' best goal scorer so far through the 4 games, gets his 4th goal, just rips one upstairs from the slot on Sam Hillebrand, and AA with his 4th goal already.
Looking good, trying to shrug off Asadorian, drop pass, low shot off the skates of Virgilio. And Virgilio emerges free with the puck, gets it to Asadorian, and Ryan Robrick down the left wing, inside the zone. Asadorian scores! Well, AA remains on fire! 3-2!
Audio goal highlights are courtesy of YourTV. Catch the IceDogs at home and on the road on YourTV Niagara, exclusively on Cogeco.
Yeah, that was a really nice setup by Robrick again to make it 3-2. You've seen the score ended 6-3. But going into the final minutes of the second period, the IceDogs had their 3rd lead of the game with an opportunity to tie up the series going back to Barrie. Just, again, some missed opportunities here, and it's unfortunate. But like I said, there's a lot of guys in that room that are going to learn from this for sure. But an unbelievable goal, specifically the setup to get Asadorian wide open. He had the clearest lane to the net, and he made no mistake. He's had a really great final few weeks, and it's been nice to see because he's been such a good player over the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, his first taste of OHL playoffs, and he's really making the most of it. Ryan Robrick in this game tonight, Cam, a lot of playmaking, and it looked like he was fully engaged tonight. You could tell when he's battling for pucks and able to get the pursuit on certain guys in the offensive zone. When number 25 wants to, he can really take over a game.
God, next year is just going to be crazy, I feel. He's had such a good performance, and not to mention he's only going to get bigger. But his playmaking ability and his shot has only gotten better, and now he's starting to get a little physical. Reminds me of Kevin, because Kevin in his first season really didn't use his body at all. Obviously, he's a 16-year-old. But even last year, it didn't happen really until the second half of the season. This year, man, he hits hard. And I feel like Robrick's going to kind of follow that same path, and he's going to have a lot of attention on him for sure. But a great setup there. And, yeah, he's a master class at forechecking by himself. I don't know how many times that he strips players on the breakout when it's just him there forechecking. It's awfully fun to watch.
Virgilio with 2 assists in this game continues to be play his best hockey here in the playoffs. Again, a guy that went to the second round with Sioux. Game 7 against the Memorial Cup champion Saginaw Spirit. He's really picked up his game. I believe this is his 4th point in the 4 games. So number 48, Matthew Virgilio, continues to play his best hockey down the stretch. Again, Bertucci gets the goal to get the Colts evened up late in the second period, as you mentioned, on that power play goal. But then the whole game changes, Cam. Early in the third period, the IceDogs have a chance. Kevin He gets robbed by Sam Hillebrand, but the puck's loose, and Hillebrand is basically completely out of the net. And I don't even know who it was, but the IceDogs are whacking away at it. This puck's going in, and Tristan Bertucci, the Dallas Stars prospect, swipes it off the goal line at a mid-air, which not only saves the goal, also the puck goes down the ice. Dallin Wakely somehow is able to get a breakaway on that. Flores stops him, but then Anthony Romani, who else, his 7th goal already, and that North Bay Battalion line for Barrie continues to just eat the IceDogs up. And to me, that was where the whole game changed 49 seconds into the third. Yeah,
that goes in, and you've got the 4-3 lead yet again. Chance to play the game with a little bit more instead of chasing it essentially. But man, that was the most hockey sequence that you could ever see, because I don't know how that puck stayed out, and immediately it goes down for a goal against, and unfortunate turn of events, and that really did turn the game and potentially the series.
Just if Bertucci isn't able to, be like his best baseball player impersonation on that play, the IceDogs have a 4-3 lead. And we don't know what happens, but then Barrie scores another goal, Bo Jelsma, less than a minute later, and that was really the insurance goal and the one that took the sails out of the IceDogs, and then Dallin Wakely adds an empty netter late.
Yeah, and again, I thought that Barrie did a great job of playing with the lead, much like what I thought the IceDogs did last night, just dumping the puck in, really making sure that they had to go the full length of the ice. And again, the IceDogs really just running with 3 lines.
And you could tell in the third period.
Yeah, you could tell. And, there was a period the second period, I think Van Vliet had like a 3-minute shift to start the game just because he got stuck out there. That's just tough. And, again, that's just the reality of the situation. The team did not buy at the deadline, which was the right move for next season. But, these are the differences that those kind of moves will make. And, like I said, they battled from start to finish, and, they've still got one more opportunity.
So it's a 6-3 final in favor of the Barrie Colts, and again, it just felt like the IceDogs really gave all they had through the first 2 periods, and then that sequence there. That's one of those plays where if you were to get smoked and lose this game 6-0, I think you would have felt better than having a sequence like that, because you were so close. You were literally an inch away from taking the lead, and then a miraculous bat out of the air goes the other way, and it's in the net, and then you add one more less than a minute later, and it goes from a 4-3 lead to a 5-3 deficit.
Yep, and again, the way that the second period ended as well.
Yeah,
giving up that goal, 20 seconds to go in the second. You think that you might get out of that period with the lead. You give up the goal late, and then immediately you get scored on after getting robbed the other way. And again, I think that's just all a learning opportunity for the IceDogs, and just unfortunate, right, when it comes down to how this one ended.
Absolutely. So that's it. 6-3 is the final. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to hear from IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau with his thoughts on the game and where this team goes from here going into Saturday. So stay right here. Be right back on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family. Back after this.
Did you know that the Global Pet Food stores in the Niagara region are all independently owned by members of the local community? We believe that pets are truly part of the family and are a source of joy in everyday homes around the world. Yet that living, loving experience usually doesn't happen all on its own, but takes extra effort to create and maintain. And we want you to know that the owners and staff at Global Pet Foods are always there to help you keep it going, any way we can, because we believe. Proud show sponsor of the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs. We hope to see you at one of the following locations across Niagara: 3643 Portage Road in Niagara Falls, 160 Highway 20 in Font Hill, as well as 400 Scott Street and 344 Glendale Avenue in St. Catharines. Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family.
Fuel up your day with Gales Gas Bars. They're your go-to gas station in the Niagara region. Remember, at Gales, they're not just a gas station, they're a local tradition. Whether you're hitting the road or staying cozy at home, choose Gales. Gales Gas Bars provide reliable fuel that keeps you moving. Stop in for quality you can trust and service with a smile. Don't settle for less. Head to Gales Gas Bars today. Because when it comes to fuel, you're going to Gales! Learn more at gales.ca.
Wild Bill's Auto Repair is your local center for auto maintenance and repair in the Niagara region. Since 2012, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop has been helping customers stay safe and confident on the road, knowing their vehicle is in top running condition through the garage's services. Located at 7868 Oakwood Drive in Niagara Falls, the garage started as a tribute to the owner's father, William Robert Hunter, who passed away, continuing the same community spirit and high level of service which customers can expect from him back at Hunter's Auto Repair. Their multi-award-winning auto shop has earned the trust of the Niagara community with its fair treatment of all customers who can feel confident they'll get trustworthy advice and repairs during their visit. Their experienced crew loves meeting new people and looks forward to forming a lasting partnership for the care of your vehicles. To find out more or to book a service, contact them today at 905-358-7868 or wildbillsauto.ca. Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road since 2012.
Celebrating a birthday, wedding, graduation, or just watching the big game? Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano is there to satisfy your pizza needs. Serving handmade Italian pizzas created with the freshest, top quality ingredients, loaded subs, and their famous chicken wings. Platinum Award recipients of Community Votes Niagara for Best Pizza and Wings in all of the Niagara region. 3 years running. Open 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week from their brand new location at 7156 Drummond Road in Niagara Falls. All payment options accepted to fit your convenience. Available for call ahead, pickup, or delivery. Place your order today at 905-374-4400 or check out their online menu for the best quality pizza and wing combos you'll find in Niagara at carmine'spizzeria.ca. You've tried the rest, so why not try the best? Carmine's Pizzeria Italiano, proudly serving the Niagara community since 2013.
This is Kevin He.
This is Brady Waslin.
This is Ethan Zadek.
This is Andre Loshko.
It's Owen Flores.
This is the Dog Pound Podcast.
The official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs.
Welcome back to part 2 of today's Niagara IceDogs playoff game recap right here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all 4 of their great Niagara region locations. Thank you to everybody that's tuned in live tonight on our Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube channel and those listening the next day on your favorite on-demand audio platform. Make sure to give us a follow on X at Dog Pound Podcast. Stay up to date with all of our IceDogs coverage. Brandon Caputo and Cam Halbert are back with you, continuing to break down the IceDogs' 6-3 loss in Game 4 of their OHL Playoff Series against Central Division rival Barrie Colts. Again, a really tough one tonight because they were right in it till the end in front of 4,078 here at the Meridian Centre, Cam. It was nice to see. You know, it's not quite a 5,300 sellout, but, you know, a really lively crowd tonight. They were getting on the refs a little bit with the ref you suck chants. I mean, you know, it is what it is with that. But it was nice to see there was a lot of passion tonight and belief from start to finish from a great crowd.
Oh, it was a great atmosphere. And, again, I think that this market desperately needed the IceDogs back in the playoffs, and I think that this was a really good showing these last 2 games. And I hope they can build upon that. And if they get a Game 6 Sunday night, I hope to see a massive turnout as well. But, yeah, when this building is close to full, it's an extremely fun place to watch a game of hockey.
I don't want to say that this is going to be the final game of the season at home, but if this were to be it, Andre Loshko went out with a bang with that great power play goal in his usual spot there with the salute celebration, and Owen Flores put on a show. If that was his final game in front of his home crowd, just an unbelievable performance from number 35.
Yeah, it's going to be really sad, specifically with Flores, right? If this is it, and we don't get another game, Flores has really done a phenomenal job given that where the franchise was the last 2 years. And even this year, they gave up the most goals, and that wasn't a detriment to him. if you watch any of the IceDogs games or you watch any game this series, Owen Flores really is the MVP. There's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up, but he has done a great job over the last few years. And Loshko is going to join, a pretty good list of players that have come in for 1 year and done a bang-up job. Most recently, Daniil Gushkin kind of comes to mind, and it's going to be awfully tough to replace him. But who knows? Maybe we've got a couple more games left.
We're going to get to IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau here on the Wild Bills Auto Repair postgame, brought to you by Wild Bills Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road in Niagara since 2012 in honor of the late William Robert Hunter. Here's what the IceDogs head coach had to say about his team's, performance of putting it all out there tonight in front of their home fans in the close loss to the Barrie Colts in Game 4 of the OHL Playoffs.
Well, obviously not the result you wanted, but effort-wise, you got to be pretty happy with the effort that was put into it.
Yeah, I mean, we're not looking for a moral victory, of course, but we can't fault them for giving everything that they had. And first minute of the third period, the puck is going in, which could possibly be a game winner, and Bertucci bats it out of midair, circa McTavish and World Juniors in Canada. They went back and won the game. So sometimes you just got to tip your cap. It was an amazing play by them, and that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, they scored those 2 goals right away. How much did that hurt? Because it's a 3-goal switch there, right?
That's it's a stake through the heart.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it hurt.
Yeah.
No question. I mean, you're feeling good. I mean, we had 3 leads in that game through the first 40 minutes, and in the first shift, we give everything that we got and create a scoring chance, and it was a miracle play, and that's what great players do. They make big-time plays at big-time moments, and Tristan Bertucci in that moment made a big-time play for the Barrie Colts.
Sure. Now, what did you like in the first couple of periods, especially? What were you doing out there?
Our belief, our commitment. You can tell that we laid everything out there, and nothing to be ashamed of.
Right.
So we played as hard as we possibly could, and from the first 40 minutes, it was a buy-in. We got a few bounces. We committed to everything that we wanted to do. And like I said, I just thought that was the air out of the sails when we could have scored there, and then they came back and scored against us.
Sure. With your backs against the wall now, do you play any different, or is it kind of, business as usual?
I think we've been desperate for a long time now. So, I mean, nothing changes. And, Barrie obviously is going to want to try to close this thing out at home. And when you've been through this, you know that the series clincher is going to be the hardest one to win. So, for us, we just got to keep going and got to have belief and faith in one another that we can keep doing the right things in order to bring the series back here in front of our faithful.
Coach, is it harder when you go through something like that when it's one bounce that really changes the game? Like, I know it's very tough losing a game, but knowing that you were right in that game, it's not like you guys just lost 4-0 and it was just, over by the second or third period. Like, how much more as a coach can you ask from them when it's like one bounce here or there that can really change a game?
I mean, our job is to push them to the limits, to understand what they can give, and this is going to be great for future years, so they know what they can give of themselves, and we got to keep on finding a way. And I mean, we've come this far. We don't want this thing to end in 2 days. So as long as we have faith in one another, that we are going to give ourselves a chance. I mean, it's been 4 great games with 2 teams, and like I said, we had 3 leads in that game. And if it wasn't for a little twist of fate there at the third period, I think it could have been a different outcome. So you just got to keep believing, and that's the number one thing. Is if you give up belief at any moment, that's when you end up hurting yourself. So as long as we believe, we got a chance to bring this thing back here for Sunday.
Probably can't even count on one hand, Coach, the amount of games this year that Owen Flores hasn't given you a chance to win. He was unbelievable tonight, probably 4 or 5, A-plus glove saves that he was able to make, and, kept you guys in that third period when you guys were kind of reeling a little bit. Business as usual for Owen Flores, but just another unbelievable Warrior performance.
Yeah, I mean, I hope somebody takes notice. This kid is an unbelievable goaltender and on the ice, and I think he can help any organization, whether it's a junior level or at the professional level. He's got a long future ahead of him, and he earns everything that he gets right now, and we wouldn't be where we are today without Owen Flores.
Quickly on Gallianov, is that a day-to-day thing? Just probably still some symptoms from the Game 2 hit he took with Aitchison?
Yeah, he was out tonight. I mean, that guy is an absolute warrior, and we all love him. And sometimes you don't know how much you miss somebody until you don't have him, and that was the case here with tonight with Gally.
And then Paris and Shinowski both leave the game at points and both able to come back. And, everybody's just really trying to give all they have out there. Nobody's 100% right now at this time of year on any team. So can you speak to the fight and your guys being able to come back and, just play through whatever they have?
Yeah, that's the resiliency that we've had all year. Never say die, never give up. And we just keep going until, we're told that we're not welcome here anymore or any more games or practices. So as long as you have an opportunity, you got to keep belief and keep faith. I've seen crazier things happen, so we talked about that at game 2. Is we go in with a positive mindset, and that can shape the outcome. And if we go in with a negative mindset, that can also shape the outcome. So really depends on the way we're thinking about it. And there's no reason not to be confident because we've had opportunities to win every single game. So it's get your rest and make sure the body's maintenance is going through everything. And we'll look at film tomorrow and see what we can change to become better in Game 6.
So for Saturday, is that like...
Sorry.
Yeah, all good. For Saturday, is that something that you want to make sure you have a really good day of practice tomorrow, go through film, and then get ready for Saturday? Like, what's the message to the guys in there after they just gave all they had and, knowing that you're in a do-or-die situation now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, you got to come to the rink and still have belief, and it's not over. We got a lot of time off when the season ends. So, I mean, we might think we're tired or hurt right now, but we got to get out there and push through. With an off day, with no games tomorrow, we got to do everything we can in preparation to battle for this weekend, because if ideally this is more than likely going to be our last practice of the season, last time coming to the rink. If the worst should happen, and even in this series, if it gets to 7, and we play back-to-back anyway, so this is our last opportunity to use the ice to prepare, hopefully to extend this thing a little bit longer. So yeah, we got to find a way to make sure everybody's on the same page going into Saturday night.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
There was IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau and the Wild Bills auto repair postgame. Cam, what were your takeaways from what the coach had to say tonight?
Well, he really kind of reiterated what we were talking about, that breakthrough at the very beginning of the third period. It's just a twist of fate from the hockey gods, and it's part of what makes the game the best game on the planet. But obviously you can hear it in his voice. He's going to have to find a way. He knows that they battled and gave everything they can, but you kind of brought it up that everyone's going through injuries. You mentioned that Gardner's out for Barrie. Every team's going through it, and they've just got to find a way to find that compete a few more times.
Shinowski, he actually took a puck off the face off a clear out that he was fined from, but then behind the net it was reviewed for a 5. He got cross-checked in the face. Yep. He ends up leaving, coming back, and Paris, obviously with the injuries that he's been through this year, anytime you see him, go down the tunnel, you just worry about number 54. He was holding his shoulder there, but he was able to come back in the game. So both those guys, are big pieces for the IceDogs, both able to come back and finish the game.
Yeah, and then you got Asadorian with the fishbowl after getting 6 stitches the other night. These guys are going through it, but they know that they might not have many more opportunities. So they're doing everything they can, and I'm excited to watch Game 5 because I think that we're going to see one of the better games the IceDogs play all season.
And then I saw Matthew Virgilio downstairs in the post game, and he had a nice shiner on one of his eyes. I think he
I don't know what
I think
that
he got a
was
shot from Andre Loshko or something happened there.
That was from the other game, though. That wasn't from this one because I noticed it in warm-ups.
Yeah, so seems like everybody's got some sort of shiner at this time of year. Gallianov too, a guy that obviously wants to play in Game 4. So before we get out of here, or in Game 5, sorry. Before we get out of here, we're going to put Cam on the spot, as always, with our stick tap of the game, brought to you by Hockey Stick Man. Pro Stock hockey sticks for major junior teams right up to the NHL teams. For after retail price, stress-free shopping experience from start to finish, check them out at hockeystickman.ca to join their mission of saving hockey families money. Cam, there was a lot of great Warrior performances from the IceDogs, but who's your player of the game?
I think it's going to be Alex Asadorian. I think that, given the injury that he took and able to battle back and have such a crazy performance in Game 3. He is really playing at his absolute best, and he's been pivotal on the team. You see it when we miss him throughout the season when he's battled through injuries over the last few years. And like I mentioned a lot, it's not just all guys that are going to get drafted to the NHL. You need really good OHLers to have a really good playoff run and a team, and Alex Asadorian is that. And Owen Flores, man, that was a vintage Owen Flores game. He made a few that just saves where you get your heart sinks a little bit because you know that it's going in. And my goodness, he is got to be the most underrated goaltender in the OHL. Not even close.
No, absolutely. And a couple other good performances tonight. Ryan Robrick with the 2 assists.
Yeah.
Matthew Virgilio with the 2 assists as well. And I'm trying to see if anybody else had a multi-point night.
Paris's goal, again, that was a crazy effort on his offhand to go the opposite way on that. So, again, I thought they had just a great compete. Kevin, too, they're all playing at their absolute best. It's tough to watch them not succeed. But I think that, again, we're talking like it's over. It's not over yet.
No. And again, Alex Asadorian, 2-point night. A guy that, has really brought his best here after a really tough season where he's had multiple absences this season. So, again, Cam, they go from here Saturday back at the Sadlon Arena in Barrie. Going to need to be some road warriors there, and they played really well in the 2 games up in Barrie, so you're hoping that they might be able to turn the tides a little bit, be able to pull out a road victory and bring it back to the Meridian Centre on Sunday night.
Absolutely. Can't wait to watch the game here on Saturday, or on Sunday.
Yeah, hopefully this isn't our last game recap here on the Dog Pound podcast, but again, thank you to everybody that's tuned in all season long, that has supported the show, listened to us live, listened to us the next day. Your support is very much appreciated and why we continue to do this, and happy we're able to finally bring you guys some playoff game recaps and analysis here on the Dog Pound podcast. But again, we'll be back with more episodes before the end of the year if this is the last game recap. But we're going to be optimistic that they pull out the win on Saturday in Barrie and bring it back here for Sunday, and we'll have another podcast for you guys. So again, the Dog Pound podcast is proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all 4 of their great Niagara region locations. For Cam Halbert, my name is Brandon Caputo. Enjoy the weekend. Go Dogs Go on Saturday, and hopefully we talk to you again on Sunday night. Talk to you then.